Tokyo Olympics.
Oh, no.
Oh,
God,
bring
no.
it back to Massacre Week.
They might be.
Don't say it.
Yeah, the Tokyo Olympics head of organizing committee, whatever the fuck that means, the head of organizing committee has not ruled out a last-minute cancellation. Is that because of the cardboard box beds? I don't know. Is that because Sha'Carri Richardson, the fastest woman on the planet in the Olympics, will not be able to compete because she dabbled with a plant that potentially made her life a lot better as opposed to taking a pharmaceutical option and potentially spiraling? I don't know. I think it's because of what's going on with COVID.
No.
They said COVID. This son of a bitch, this rat bastard, COVID-19, allegedly, potentially going to be able to stop the Olympics or maybe delay the Olympics for another year. Will they just push back for another one? I don't know how this will go. All I do know is that all eyes are on Tokyo because this thing's supposed to start on Friday with no fans.
No fans.
So I don't know how the opening celebration will go because that is a massive moment. Maybe there'll just be such a big drone spectacular and there'll be, well, the music couldn't happen because the person that was supposed to sing allegedly was saying terrible things back in the day on social media. So they have even music. Do they even have music?
We don't know.
This is I grew up wanting to be in this. This is what I grew up in. Soccer, wanting to be in the Olympics. I want to represent the United States on the U.S. men's national team. The Olympics is something I look forward to every single time they're on. In the winter, love everything about being cold. In the summer, I don't know what the fuck a triple backflip ollie whatever is, but I know America's doing it better than everybody else, so I'm going to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely love the spectacle that is the Olympics. It goes back centuries almost at this point, back to the Greeks or however it started, and the amount of things that have been kind of brought together, I think, through the love of sport and through the international games. And there's been some obvious scandals that have wrecked the Olympics' reputations, maybe, in that whole thing. And Icarus exposed that Russia was potentially cheating for every Olympic Games. And back in the day, the Germans. And then I guess there's the Olympics, I think, is something that are beautiful. It's awesome. It's for people that love sports, such a cool thing. Even though it's not necessarily our sport, it is the thrill of competition that bring everybody on earth together. Even in sports we don't know, we're just kind of pulling for people. I don't know who's running it. I have no idea what's going on, but this has been a shit show.
Yeah.
This whole thing has been a shit show.
Brutal.
And it's not because of things that they could not control or maybe steer around as if they saw an iceberg. These are self-caused problems from the Olympics and something that is absolutely beautiful. The people that seem to have the reins of the Olympics are steering that particular either Texas Longhorn, like I like to ride on the weekends in Fort Worth stockyards, or a horse right into a terrible spot. Like so many other things I think that we've loved for so long, we've seen people get into charge and just kind of run it right into the fucking dirt. Hopefully that won't happen with the Olympics. Nope. Hopefully we'll be able to see the world's greatest do things like speed walking and the
floor routine,
dancing,
with the thing. And Simone Biles is supposed to just go own everything. I'd like to watch the greatest of all time and Simone do her thing, but it feels like there's a chance that whether COVID is a problem still, which I'm being told is. Okay.
Correct. For sure.
I'm being told COVID is still quite a problem. Remember, I am in my own world.
Blinders.
I got my blinders. Hey, listen, let's keep the main thing the main thing. Let's not get distracted, okay? Let's keep our blinders on. You know what the horse does whenever they got to race them? They put the blinders on. You know why? Because that's the only thing they need to worry about. They don't need to worry about what horse is here. They just need to worry about running straight. They need to stay focused. That's what we need to do. We need the blinders. That's my life, okay? And that was Chuck Pagano's speech actually to us a couple different times when there was distractions maybe that could pop off. But that's my life. I like my timeline. I'm very deep on Twitter on a very regular basis, so much that my wife probably hates it, but it's kind of what I do. It's kind of how I operate. It's how the show has to go. And my timeline is one that I thoroughly enjoy. So whenever shit gets into my timeline, it has to go like double generation to get in there if it's outside of my world. Politics, outside of my world. Science, by the way. I mean, it was brought into my world, I guess, but that shit was way out of my world. Yeah. But it has made its way in. I guess COVID has been sneaking its little fucking head back into my timeline, though. And I want to let you know, we're going to beat it.
Hell yeah.
Beat it. Have to.
Come on.
Have to.
Come on. Going together.
We've had arenas everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in one the other night. It was magical. The world needs to keep that happening. Hopefully, we'll be able to figure it out. Hopefully, COVID will stay. I've heard people have been getting COVID again.
Oh, yeah. Big time. People who have already been vaccinated as well.
Okay, thank you for that. At Boston Connor, thank you for
No
that.
problem, man. Just updating you on the situation.
At Ty
here.
Schmidt here as well. Are like hospitals packed to the? Are people dying? I haven't heard. Listen, I'm not getting into anything. I don't know anything, but I do know that everybody's acting like COVID's all the way back, like we're back whenever we were moving games in March Madness.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how some people are acting, and I only know that because those people are getting into my timeline. I'm like, is this where we are? Are we doing this again? I guess masks are going back on.
Yep.
In California,
Yeah.
mandates are happening again. I guess other places there's mandates happening again. Are we back to that stage where people are just, hospitals can't keep up and there's ice cream trucks going for dead bodies? Remember that was happening
yeah.
at one point?
God.
I mean, the things that we were watching on the news every single night during that thing were alarming and incredibly scary. And I think, got it. There's people that are acting as if that is still happening. Right? Is that what's going on? And is that why if the Olympics get canceled last minute, there's a chance that all those people that potentially get into my timeline are going to be doing, I don't think they'll be celebrating it all, but that's going to get louder and louder.
Yeah.
Are we headed, am I oblivious because of my blinders? Am I oblivious to what's going on? Are we fucked again from COVID? Is this happening again?
I don't know. I mean, I hear there are whispers that COVID is coming back or is back, but I think
And there was rumors on the internet like John Cena.
Oh, yeah. Full
exactly.
swing.
But I mean,
I couldn't see Cena. I don't know if you can see COVID
Nope.
either.
it's
You can't.
it's tough for us now too, because like you said, I mean, you were just in a packed arena. Like we've already had that carrot out dangled in front of us. Like, hey, NFL stadiums are going to be full this upcoming season. Period. It just, I mean, I think over there too, I mean, it's the same deal. Some places where they don't have vaccines readily available, like stuff still going on. I mean, and who knows what to believe anymore, but
I think there's potential chaos on the internet if the Olympics get canceled.
I
last
agree.
minute. And the Tokyo Olympic head of organizing committee not ruling out a last minute cancellation. Is that him just like CYA, like covering his ass? Because if he does, or he or she comes out and says it's canceled, then well, why didn't you tell us that a couple days beforehand? Or is it the no fans, no boning, no nothing
No
rule?
sponsors?
No
Yeah.
sponsors that they're doing for the COVID. Is that and they move from one stage of risk to another stage of risk just a couple days before the Olympics were the moving process was supposed to go in there. So what the hell is going on?
Well, he's got to be covering his ass, or she got to be covering their ass, just because if people get COVID while they're staying there, can't they look right to him like, hey?
But it's
why
already
the fuck-
happened. There's already been people who are there, like athletes who are supposed to be in the Olympics that have tested positive. So like what I mean, at this point, canceling it, like what is that? Like people are already testing positive.
Yeah. So what do we do here?
And I did see too that they said like it is like a big concern is like that it's a bubble, but like there are many cracks in the security in terms of like whether or not people would be able to just be like, all right, fuck it, I'm not staying in a bubble for my entire time.
well,
here.
every country in the world is at this thing, right?
right.
I mean, I remember one time wanting to buy an island, create my own country, create an Olympic team, and maybe compete in every event.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a good idea.
It's not that easy, but I remember all those ceremonies you watch. There'll be like one person coming out
Oh, yeah.
from a country that it's like, oh shit, where's that country at? You learn a lot during the Olympics. I think about a lot. So that's probably what they're worried about as well, is people coming from every place of the earth. Is that what's going on as well?
I
Is
mean,
it-
maybe, but don't you think
what happened in Brazil a couple years ago? Was it Ebola? No.
Zika?
Zika
Yeah.
was the big one, right? That was going to shut down the Olympics there for a little bit. They went on and ended up having the Olympics, and Lochte got locked up
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
because he pissed at a gas station.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Tough look for him.
Did they pull out guns? He was like, ja,
Ja.
ja. He's back, by the way. He's not like that anymore. There's a
That's not him,
documentary about how he's grown through that. And we all grow and mature in different levels, and that was obviously a terrible time. But in Brazil, the Zika was supposed to be a big thing. And then people were scared to go almost. And then now with this, I think a lot of people want to go.
Yeah.
And then they're like, almost, we don't want you to go. It's a wild time to be alive. Let's hope we have the Olympics.
Hey, here we go.
Hopefully.
Need it.